Two friends, John and Patrick, decided to leave their homes and set out to find their way in the world, hoping to see what they could become. As they prepared to part ways, they made a pact to meet at the same spot in 10 years and share what they had achieved. "I'm headed to the city," said Patrick, while John chose to explore the mountains and the lands beyond. "10 years it is. Good luck, my friend," they said as they went their separate ways. 10 summers passed, and the day finally arrived for them to reunite. John was the first to reach the spot, eagerly waiting to see his old friend. Soon, a grand entourage arrived, with Patrick at its center. "John, it's been so long," Patrick exclaimed as they embraced. "You've got quite the entourage, Patrick," John remarked. Patrick, now dressed in fine robes and surrounded by servants, introduced himself as Sir Patrick Sullivan, the chief treasurer of the kingdom and a member of the king's court. John was thrilled for his friend. "I always knew you'd make it big," he said. Patrick, curious, asked, "And what about you, John? What did you find beyond the mountains?" With a smile, John replied, "I found my passion working as a blacksmith. I play with fire and forge iron into tools and weapons." Patrick admired his friend's craftsmanship and accepted an invitation to share a simple picnic lunch, leaving his servants behind. Over a meal of potatoes cooked in their jackets with butter, John and Patrick reminisced about old times. Patrick admired the simplicity of the food, admitting he had missed it despite the extravagant feasts in the palace. John, noticing Patrick's refined hands, contrasted them with his own, roughened from years of working with coal, iron, and fire. Patrick suggested they visit each other's homes to truly see the lives they now led. "Is it okay for a commoner like me to stay with a nobleman like you?" John joked, to which Patrick insisted that their friendship was beyond such titles. They agreed to spend some days together, with Patrick planning to pick John up the next morning. The next day, Patrick sent his carriage for John, who marveled at the luxury of Patrick's new life. Arriving at Patrick's mansion, John was overwhelmed by the grandeur, from golden handles to perfumes and exotic foods. Though impressed, John couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness at how different their lives had become. Patrick, always busy with royal duties, had little time to enjoy these luxuries, a fact that John soon realized. All this wealth and status, but no time to even rest, John thought, understanding that Patrick's responsibilities often took away the joys that his luxuries promised. That evening, Patrick invited John to a grand banquet in honor of a visiting trade delegation. John, worried about his simple attire, was reassured by Patrick's servants who promised to take care of everything, from his suit to his dinner preferences. As Patrick left for the palace, John noticed an iron artifact he had made, now placed in Patrick's lavish office. Patrick proudly explained that despite the gold and crystal around, the simple iron piece reminded him of their roots and the value of hard work. As the day went on, John spent time at the mansion, exploring its many wonders while Patrick attended to his duties. When Patrick returned, they shared a meal together, reminiscent of their simpler days, with Patrick savoring every bite of the humble food John prepared. After dinner, they went for a swim in a brook that Patrick had specially recreated to resemble the one from their village. Though Patrick had little time to enjoy such pleasures, he cherished the moments spent with his old friend. The next day, John invited Patrick to visit his humble home beyond the mountains. Patrick agreed, eager to experience John's life. As they arrived, John immediately got to work, repairing tools and making a new hammer for a villager who couldn't afford a replacement. Patrick, seeing the respect and gratitude the villagers had for John, realized how important his friend was to the community. John's work, though far from the royal court, was essential, supporting the lives of everyone in the village. Patrick then suggested that John could use his skills to make weapons and tools for the king's army, ensuring a stable income while continuing to help his community. John, humble as ever, replied that he was content with what he earned, as it was enough to live by and to keep working without losing his connection to the people he served. "It's not about the money or the status," John said. "What makes us important is how well we do our work, no matter what it is." In the end, both friends realized that true success wasn't measured by wealth or titles, but by the fulfillment of doing what they loved and the impact they had on others. As they parted ways once more, they knew their friendship had grown even stronger, enriched by their mutual respect and understanding of the different paths they had chosen.